and partnership and etc. business organization forms. Okay. So yes, unit number 5. Forms of business organization. First. So we have different types of business forms of organization. Okay, and we have broadly categorized it in two parts. First one is non-cooperative forms of organization, and the second one is cooperative forms of organization. First one is non-cooperative forms of organization, and the second one is cooperative form of organization. In cooperative forms of organization, it involves public, normal public. But in non-cooperative forms of organization, it involves a person or more than one person. Okay, just like partners or an individual owner of the firm. So moving with the first one, which is sole trader organization. Sole trader organization. The sole trader organization, also called proprietorship or sole proprietorship, is the oldest form of organization. How it is an oldest form of organization? Because in sole proprietorship there is only one owner. Okay, suppose you have a shop. Okay, you are the owner of your shop. Then you are the sole proprietor. You are the sole proprietor of your business. So that is what a sole proprietorship is all about. When we have only one person as an owner of an organization, as an owner of an organization, then that person is known as, or that form of business is known as sole proprietorship. So it is the most common form of organization for small business even today. It is the simplest and easiest to form. Okay, when you are required less capital, okay, for starting a business, if you require a less capital to start a business, then you can go with sole proprietorship. One man business, in which it is a one man's business in which an individual produces independently with his own capital, skills, and intelligence, and is entitled to receive all the profit and assumes all the risk of the ownership. When you start a business and when you owns a business, okay, by yourself, then you are liable to pay your debts. Okay, you will get unlimited liability in sole proprietorship. What is unlimited liability? It's like if you face losses, suppose you are a owner of a shop. Okay, you are the owner of your shop, retail shop. Now if in future you face losses or you came under the debts. Okay, then you have to pay your debts. You have to pay your debts, and for that you have to use your personal assets. You have to use your personal assets. That's why it is also come under the unlimited liability. If if the assets of your firm or assets of your shop is uh, not appropriate, if it's not appropriate and we're not liable to pay all your debts, then you have to sell your personal property such as your home to pay your debts. So this is the risk you bear in sole proprietorship. So we have some main features of sole proprietorship. As you know, when only one person is the owner of a shop, a retail, or any kind of business, then that is known as sole proprietor. So one man ownership, no separation of ownership and management. In this, in your business or in your shop, you are not separated with your management and ownership. You own your business and also you manage your business. You manage your business. So there's no separation of ownership and management. No separate entity. As companies are separate legal entity, as companies are separate legal entity, but sole proprietorship, there is no separate entity because business is owner and owner is business. If if as a owner, suppose I am owning a business, okay. If I die, then my business also die. So my business is me and I am my business. So there is no separate entity. All profits to proprietor. Whatever I run under the sole proprietorship business, that is mine. Okay, that is of owner. So that person is not bound to share his profit with others. Individual risk, because I am gaining all the profits, I'm getting all the profits, that means all the risk is beared by me. All the risk will be beared by the owner only. Unlimited liability, as I said earlier, the personal property of the owner will be utilized to clear the debts. The personal property of the owner will be utilized to clear the debts of the organization. Less legal formalities. Less legal formalities. In sole proprietorship, there are no such legal formalities. You don't have to go to the registrar and register your firm and all these things. You can just start your business. If you want to start a shop or a dairy shop, then you can start it by your own. Okay, you don't need to get permission for this until or unless you are doing such business. If you want to start a chemist shop, then you have to take permissions, okay, and you must have the license to start a chemist shop. So there are restrictions, but for some specific business only, not for all others. Even you can start your business whenever you want, and you can dissolve it as well whenever you want. You can discontinue it. Merits and limitations of sole proprietorship. Merits: easy to form. There are no legal formalities, so we can easily form our business, we can easily set up our business. Direct motivation, because all the profits and gains are directly go to the owner. So the direct motivations come from the profit. Whatever work you do, you will gain profit in business. So it will provide you a direct motivation. Full control. Owner have full control of the business. uh, in your business, if you are the sole proprietor, then your decision will be will become the control himself, okay. Whatever decision you will take will become the rule of your organization, the rule of your firm, okay, the rule of your business. So you have the full control in sole proprietorship. Quick decision, because there is no person who can interrupt in your business activities. Then you can take a decision very quick if any situation arises, okay. It's just you have to take the decision, you can take it as quick as possible. Flexibility in operations. Being a small organization, it is easy to bring changes if situation so demands. In large sized business organization, to bring a change is difficult. If you want to set up your business at some other place, okay, then you can easily set up it in sole proprietorship. But if you are in a partnership, then you have to ask that to your partner. If they permit it, then only you can change or transfer your business, otherwise you cannot. So in sole proprietorships, you have flexibility in operations. Secrecy, you are the sole owner of your business, then whatever decision you are taking for your business, you can keep it secret, okay. And you are not bounded to show your accounts to the government. You are not bounded to publish your account to the public. But if government asks, you have to show your accounts, but you are not bounded to publish your account to public. Personal touch, when the proprietor handles everything relating to the business himself, it is easy to maintain a personal rapport with the customers. Okay, retailers have the personal touch or personal connection with the consumers. Sometimes, if you are used to go to a shop, okay, if you are a regular customer of a shop, then they know your choices. Okay, sometimes they provide you without asking the stuff. They provide the thing you are there for. So that is a personal touch. You know your customers in sole proprietorship. Dissolution easy. Whenever you want, you can dissolve your firm. You don't have to ask to your partners or other persons. It's just your decision. Limitation. Limited resources. Being a individual, we do not have so much funds to upgrade or enlarge our business. Okay, so we have limited resources. The capital and the other resources of an individual are always limited. The sole trader has to mainly rely on his money and earnings, or he can borrow, if necessary, from relatives and friends. Limited managerial capability. If you are running a business or doing production of any kind of product, then it is not necessarily required that possible that you are good at production as well, you are good at finance as well, you are good at managing the stuff, you are good at marketing. One person have one speciality. So you have limited managerial capability in sole proprietorship. It's not possible for one person to be perfect in each and every section of business, like production, finance, and marketing. Not suitable for large scale operation. Since the resources of the sole trader are limited, it is suitable only for small businesses, not for large scale operations. Unlimited liability. You know that the proprietor has an unlimited liability. In case of loss, even his personal property and belongings can be utilized for clearing business debts or obligations. Less stability. If the owner dies, the business also dies with him. So it is less stable. No check and control, as the sole trader is the monarch of the business. No outsider can question him on his acts and deals. Less scope of economies of scale. Less scope of economies of scale. Sole trader usually operates on small scale only. So he or she cannot enjoy the benefits of large scale production or buying or selling. This may rise the cost of business operation. So is the sole proprietorship clear to you guys? Is sole
Pretty,
proprietorship
it's clear.
Yes, ma. It's
okay?
clear.
Moving forward, moving further, we have partnership form. So in sole proprietorship, we have read that when only one person is the owner of an business organization, then that person is known as sole proprietor. But in partnership, we have minimum 2%. We require minimum 2% to start a business, to own a business, and maximum can be, if it is a private, or maximum can be 20 or 50 accordingly. Here is the definition. A partnership is a form of business organization in which two or more persons, up to maximum 20, join together to undertake some form of business activity. To undertake some form of business activity. But this maximum 20 in our India, our Companies Act 2013, our Companies Act 2013 of India state that for partnership we have minimum person required 2, but we can have maximum person to 50. Okay, means minimum person to maximum 50. is required for a partnership. The Indian Partnership Act 1932. The Indian Partnership Act 1932 defines partnership as the relationship between persons who have agreed to share the profit of business carried on by all, or any one of them acting for all, or any one of them acting for all. So when two or more than two-person are doing a business, okay, doing a business activity to earn the profit and share the profit as per their profit sharing ratio, that is known as partnership business. Main features of partnership firm: plurality of person. In sole proprietorship, we have only one owner, but in partnership, we can have two or more than two owners, and maximum 50, according to Companies Act 2013 of India. Contractual relationship. Partnership is created by an agreement between person called partners. There is an agreement, and if this agreement is in written form, then it is called as partnership deed. Then it is called as partnership deed. But this contract could be in oral, written, or implied form. This contract could be oral, written, or implied form. Profit sharing. There must be an agreement among the partners to share the profit and losses of the business of the partnership firm. Suppose A, B, and C have started a business. Okay, A have bought 3 lakh rupees. A have bought 3 lakh rupees, and B also three, and C brings 4 lakh rupees. So the profit sharing ratio of A, B, and C must be like 3:3:4. 3:3:4. It can be according to their capital. If it is not mentioned, then it can be according to their capital, and they can share the profit is to 1:1:1 ratio. So we have the profit sharing ratio. Existence of business. The purpose of agreement among the partners is to do some lawful business and share profits. If the purpose is something other than business, it should not be treated as partnership. It should not be treated as partnership. For example, if the purpose is to carry some charitable work, it will not be treated as business. It will not be treated as business. Principal agent relationship. The business of firm may be carried on by all or one or more partners acting for all the partners. That means, suppose you all are doing a business. You all are doing a business in partnership. Okay, but all other students are denying to act for a business. They just invested in the business and asked you to run the business activity, to manage the business activities. So it is you which is acting for all of the partners, which is acting on behalf of all of the partners. They are partners too, but you are acting for all the partners. They are not contributing in business day to day activity, but you are doing. So you will be entitled a salary for that, or the commission for that thing. That's a different thing, but only it can be they can be all act as a partner, or only you can part in business activities, and other partners become the silent partners or just invested in the business. That is what this line says about. Now coming to the point, unlimited liability. In partnership also, every partners have unlimited liability. Every partners have unlimited liability. In respect of business debts, each partner has unlimited liability. This means that if the assets of the firm are not sufficient to meet the obligation of the firm or the debt of the firm, the partners have to pay from their private assets. The partners have to pay from their private assets. So the liability in partnership also unlimited. Good faith and honesty. A partnership agreement rests on good faith among the partners. The partners must be honest to each other and trust each other. Restriction on transfer of share. If A, B, and C are three partners in a business organization, and C wants to transfer his share to the person D, to the person D, then he is restricted. He can't share or he can't transfer his share to D until or unless all the partners agree on this. Until or unless all the partners agree on this. A or B give consent to C to transfer his share to D. Then only he can transfer his share, and otherwise he cannot, or one partner cannot transfer his share. Now, classification of partners. Is partnership clear?
It's clear. It's clear, madam.
Classification of partners. Classification of partners. Based on extent of partnership, active partner and sleeping partner. The thing I just told you guys, active partner. If the partner takes an active part in management of business, we call him an active partner or working partner. Sleeping partner. If the partner is not actively associated with the working of partnership firm, we call him sleeping partner. A sleeping business partner simply invest his capital. He just invest his share and do not take part in any activity of the business. That partner is known as sleeping partner or the dormant partner. Based on sharing of profit. Based on sharing of profit. Nominal partner and partners in profit. Nominal partner. A partner who just lends his name to the partnership is known as nominal partner. He neither invests his capital nor participates in day to day working and management of the firm. Such partners are not entitled to share of profit, but but they are liable to other parties for all the act of the firm. They are just acting like they are the partner of the firm, but neither they have invested in our capital nor they are entitled to share a profit. But as they have shown to others that they are the partner of the firm, then they are liable to other parties for the act of the firm. They are liable to other parties for the act of the firm. Now, partner in profit. A partner who share the profit of the business without being liable for losses is called partners in profit. If there is a profit, then it will be shared to that partner. If there is a loss, then he or she doesn't have any right to or liable for any losses. That is known as partner in profits. As a rule as a rule he will not take any part in the management of the business. Partner in profits, the partner if the person is partner in profits, then he or she will not take any part in the management of business or any kind of business decision. They just share the profit. This is applicable to a minor who is admitted to the benefits of the firm. This is applicable to a minor who is admitted to the benefit of the firm. Now, partners based on the behavior and conduct exhibited. Partner by estoppel and partners by holding out. Partners by estoppel. A person who behaves in public in such a fashion as to give an impression that he is one of the partners. in partnership firm is called partner by estoppel. Is called partner by estoppel. Such partners are not entitled to profits but are fully liable as regard the firm's obligation or the firm's debt. Now coming to the partners by holding out, if if a particular partner of a firm represent that another person is also a partner of the firm. Now focus on this thing. The partner of the firm represent a person or represent another person, that person is the partner of firm. And if such a person doesn't disclaim or doesn't deny the partnership relation even after coming to know about it, such person is called partner by holding out. Partner by holding out. Such partners are not entitled to profit but are liable as regard the obligation of the firm. Based on liabilities, limited partners and general partners. The liability of such partners is limited to the extent of capital contributed by him. When when a partner, uh, when a partner gets his liability or to its limit, okay, he says whatever capital I have contributed, I only risk that thing. I will not liable or I will not able to use my personal asset to use my personal asset to become the loss of the firm, okay, to pay the loss of the firm. That person is known as limited partner. That person is known as limited partner. General partner. General partner is unlimited partner. General partner is unlimited partner. His liability is unlimited and he is entitled to a participating management of the business. That's it. These are the types of partners. Now coming to the partnership deed, it is the written document. It is the written document which disclose many things about partnership, which disclose many things about partnership, such as name of the firm, nature of the business to be carried out, name of the partners, the town and the place where business will be carried on, the amount of capital invested, okay, the profit and loss sharing ratio of each partner, loans and advances by partners, the rate of interest on capital, duties, power, obligations, remuneration, settlement in case of dissolution of partnership, how to dissolve the partnership, okay, which method will be used of the for the evaluation of goodwill on admission or death or the retirement of a partner. Okay, which method of revaluation of asset and liabilities on admission or death or retirement of a partner will be used. The method of retirement of partner and the arrangement for the payment of the dues of a retired or deceased partner. Arrangement in case of partner becomes insolvent. So all these things are disclosed under partnership deed. It is a written document or a written agreement which is signed by all the partners. Which is signed by all the partners. See, partnership can run on oral basis too. Sometimes we do not have a partnership deed. We do not have a partnership deed, but we are running business under partnership. But in some cases when we get fraud by a partner, okay, disowned by a partner, then we cannot sue that person or that partner in court. But if we have partnership deed, if we have registered our partnership, then we can sue that person in court. They are not questioned, they are not entitled to profit but are entitled to other obligation of the business. What are the example of the other obligations, please? See, if a person have invested in your firm or give order to a business partnership, order to a partnership business, or wait a minute, let me think a perfect example. You're asking about partners, no? Like partners by Estopol. Okay, partners by Estopol. You are a partner by Estopol in a firm. You are a partner by Estopol in a firm, and you are a reputed person. And by seeing your reputation, a person gives order to a business organization, to that business organization. Okay, and you haven't denied that you are the partner of the firm. You also haven't denied that you are the partner of the firm, and you know this thing. And in future, if in future they are no and that already gave advances, that party already gave advances to the business organization, and at the end business organization are not entitled uh, to make the delivery of the products. Okay, then in that case you are liable to pay them back. You're liable. If someone is giving loan to a partnership firm, thinking that you are the partner of the firm, thinking that you are the partner of the firm, and they give loan to that partnership firm, and they are not liable to pay their debts, then in that case, that person who gave loan to the firm will come to you and ask for the money. So these are the obligations. Is it clear?
It's clear, man. It's clear.
Oh, man. Okay. Now, after partnership deed, merits and limitation. Merits and limitation of partnership. Easy formation. Easy formation. Although the formation of partnership firm is not as easy as the sole proprietorship, but it is much less difficult as compared to joint stock company or a company. So you can being two or three friends can easily start a business, and no such law or legal requirements to start up a partnership business. More capital available as compared to sole proprietorship. There are more capital in partnership firm. So a partnership firm doesn't have to rely on a single individual as the source of its fund. More diverse skill and expertise. More diverse skills and expertise. Suppose three friends are running a business, and one out of you is good at financing, and one out of you is good at marketing, and one is good at production. Then you can have, or you can run the business smoothly without the help of any other employee. So you can have more skills and expertise as compared to sole proprietorship. Flexibility. Like sole proprietorship, the partnership business is also owned and run by the partners themselves. They can easily appreciate and quickly respond to the changing condition. Secrecy. In partnership firm, some secrecy can be maintained because there is no obligation to publish accounts of the firm to the public. Keen interest. Since partners are liable to losses and risk of business, they take keen interest in the affairs of business. Protection. Due to the rule of anonymity in fundamental matters, the rights of the partners are fully protected. If a partner is dissatisfied with the working of the firm, he or she can ask for dissolution of the firm and withdraw from the business. Checks and controls all over careless decision. Since the partnership is run on collective basis, all the partners participate in major decision. There is lesser scope for recklessness and hasty decision. In sole proprietorship, you are the only one to take decision. You cannot take decision. Sometimes we take wrong decisions, but in partnership we have three or four minds. Okay, so we can brainstorm our decision, we can discuss a decision before taking a decision. There is a less scope for reckless and hasty decision. Diffusion of risk. The losses of the firm will be shared by all the partners. The share of loss in case of each partner will be less than that sustained in sole proprietorship. If we face a loss of 10 lakh rupees in partnership firm, and if we face the same loss of 10 lakh rupees in sole proprietorship, then it is really lesser in partnership firm, because we have 3 to 4% to share that 10 lakh loss, the loss of rupees 10 lakh. But in sole proprietorship, only one person have to bear this loss of rupees 10 lakh. Limitations. Limited capital. We have more capital in partnership than sole proprietorship, but also we have limited capital as if we compare it to company, if we compare it with the company. Since there is a limit of maximum partners, which is 50, the capital raising capacity of partnership firm is limited as compared to a joint stock company. Unlimited liability, because partners personal property can be used to utilize or to give the payments of debts. No public confidence, since the account are not published and publicized, the firm may not be able to command confidence of the public. No non transferability of interest, no partner can transfer his interest or share in a firm without the consent of other partners. Uncertainty. The sudden death, lunacy, which is insanity, or insolvency of a partner leads to the dissolution of a firm. If one person get retired, have death, face death, get insolvent, okay, get insane, then the partnership firm will dissolve in that case, and a new partnership firm will continue. A new partnership will continue. Conflicts among partners. If we have 3 to 4 brains in partnership, and we can create good decisions out of it, that means we will face conflicts among partnership too. We will face conflicts among partnership partners too, because one partner will say something else and another will deny that thing, and the conflict will rise. Risk of implied authority. Since each partner act as an agent of the firm, act as one partner would bind the firm and all the remaining partners. A dishonest or incompetent partner may land the firm into difficulties, and the other partner may have to pay for it. Suppose you are in a partnership business, okay, and you are doing a fair business, but your partner is doing some illegal activity behind your back, some illegal activity behind your back relating to the business, then you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it if you are in a partnership firm. So it is a risk of implied authority. Is the partnership clear?
Yes, it's clear.
Clear, ma.
Okay.
Clear.
Mo- Moving forward to joint Hindu family firm. Joint Hindu family firm. See, in India, we have so many joint families. We have so many joint families, and they run a business. They run a business. So we have made a joint Hindu family firm rule. A joint Hindu family firm rule. Joint Hindu family firm is a unique form of business organization Prevailing only in India. This is the firm belonging to to joint Hindu family and governed by the provision of Hindu law. And it is governed by the provision of Hindu law. What are these Hindu law? We have two schools of Hindu law, means two things. First one is Mitakshara and second one is Dayabhag. First one is Mitakshara and second one is Dayabhag. Mitakshara says that Mitakshara says that a Hindu inherits the property from his father. A Hindu inherits the property from his father, grandfather, and great grandfather. Thus, three successive generations. Remember that only three successive generation in the male line. In the male line, son, grandson, and great grandson inherit the ancestral property. Inherit the ancestral property. They are called co-parents, co-parents, and the senior most member of the family. The senior most member of the family is called Karta, and the owner, and that Karta is the owner of any joint Hindu family business. Karta is the owner of any joint Hindu family business. So, the Hindu Succession Act 1956, the Hindu Succession Act 1956 has extended the line of co-parency interest to female relatives as well. At first, it only included male person, okay, but the Hindu Succession Act 1956 has extended the line of co-parency interest to female relatives of deceased co-parents or male relatives. Now, Mitakshara, this thing is applicable to whole India except two states. First one is Bengal and second is Assam. Bengal and Assam are two states in India, and Mitakshara is followed by whole India except Bengal and Assam. Mitakshara is not followed in, not applicable on Bengal and Assam state. For Bengal and Assam, we have Dayabhag. It is applicable in Bengal and Assam. According to this, the male hire become member only on the death of the father. Here, the death of the ancestor is not necessary. Here, the death of the father or grandfather or great grandfather is not necessary. But in Bengal and Assam, the death of the father is necessary. Then only a male hire can become the member of the business. So that's the difference. And it is applicable only in Bengal and Assam. And in joint Hindu family business, we have Karta, which is the eldermost male person of the family, and that person he will manage the business. He will manage the business. Some features of joint Hindu family. Business is managed by the senior member of the family called Karta. Other members do not have right to participate in the management of the firm. Okay. Other member cannot question the authority of Karta. Their only remedy is to get family dissolved by mutual agreement. Karta has the power to borrow funds for business. Karta has the power to borrow funds for the business. Okay, if we want to extend the business, then he can borrow the funds. But the liability of the Karta is unlimited. The liability of the Karta is unlimited, whereas the other co-operants are liable only to the extent of their share in the business. To the extent of their share in the business. If the Karta has misappropriated the funds of the business, he has to compensate the other co-parents to the extent of their shares in the joint property. In the joint property. The death of any member of the family doesn't dissolve the business or the family. The death of any member of the family doesn't dissolve the business or the family. Even there is a death of Karta, then the another senior most male person will become the Karta of the family. In that case, okay, it will not dissolve the business. Through a mutual agreement, the joint Hindu family firm can be dissolved. If all the members or co-parents agree to dissolve the family business, then they can only dissolve the business. Is it clear?
Yes.
Clear, ma. Clear.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yes, ma.
Uh, Copaceras, if I don't know whether I get it right.
Co-parentsers.
Yeah, means they are the other members of the family, right?
See, we have one karta, okay, which is the eldermost male member of the family. That person is karta, or we can say the owner of the business is karta. But his son and his grandson will become the co-partners of that firm. The karta's son and grandson will become the co-parentsers of that business. So what for your question? I have defined karta and co-parentsers.
Yeah, I got it now.
Okay. Coming to the limited liability partnership. Limited liability partnership. As we have discussed earlier, that is un- partnership have unlimited liability. Partnership have unlimited liability, but this is a form of business which is limited liability partnership. Limited liability partnership LLP Act 2008 is a new piece of legislation. This act enables formation of partnership with liability of partners being kept limited like that of shareholders as in case of companies. Basically, it contains the features of partners and corporation. Okay, partners and corporation firms. Partners do not need to afraid of other partners action too, as we have discussed in partnership, that if a partner doing illegal activity, then other partners also have to face the consequences of that partner action. But in limited liability partnership, it doesn't work like that. One partner's actions will not affect other partners, because the partners here have the limited liability. Partners here have the limited liability. The public has been given a choice to form a partnership either under the partnership law. The public has given a choice to form the partnership either under the partnership law, which is Partnership Act 1932, under which we have unlimited liability as a partner, or we can create the partnership firm under the LLP Act 2008. LLP Act 2008. Under this, a partner doesn't have unlimited liability. He or she have limited liability. The Regulating Act. A LLP is regulated by the Limited Liability Partnership Act 2008. Minimum and maximum number of members. In LLP, minimum number of partners are required too, and there is no limit to maximum number. There is no limit to maximum number of partners. As in partnership, we according to Partnership Act, we have 50 members. We have maximum 50 members. But in LLP, we do not have we have no limit to the maximum numbers of the partner. Coming to the third point, governance structure. The governance structure would be by contractual agreement between partners. Contractual agreement between partners. Management. The management rests with those partners who are authorized by LLP agreement. Transfer of interest. Transfer of interest. In the case of LLP, a partner's economic rights shall be transferable. Shall be transferable. As you have read that in normal partnership, In normal partnership, you cannot transfer your shares or transfer your interest to other person. But in LLP, you have economic rights to transfer your interest or transfer your shares. However, such transfer shall not by itself cause the disassociation of the partner and dissolution and winding up of the LLP. Further, such transfer would not make transferee a partner of the LLP entitled to participate in its management. Audit. The capital contribution doesn't exceed 25 lakhs, or if the annual turnover doesn't exceed rupees 40 lakhs, rupees 40 lakhs, audit is not compulsory. Then the audit is not compulsory. Meetings. In LLP, the annual meeting of a partners is not mandatory. The annual meeting of the partner is not mandatory. So it's all about LLP, limited liability partnership. Basically, it is a combination of partners and corporation, because we have unlimited or no limit of maximum partners here, as we do not have a limit of maximum partners in corporation as well. Okay, is LLP clear? I guess yes. I'm moving further. Company form
Clear,
of
ma.
organization.
Clear.
Okay, moving further, company form of organization or joint stock company, we can say. Joint stock company. For large scale business, one person require a large investment and specialized managerial skills. The element of risk is also very high. This situation led to the emergence of company form of business organization. In case of joint stock company, capital is contributed by not one or two person but by a number of person called shareholders. You may have heard that this company's share you can buy, this company's share you can buy, or you have the share of this company and this company. What is that? These are the companies which provides share, means you are getting a simple or a minimum ownership of that company. If you are buying shares of Reliance, if you are buying shares of Reliance company, then it means, or it states that you become a shareholder of that company, or you are getting some ownership in that company. Okay, and the amount of ownership is directly related to the share, the amount of share you have purchased. A joint stock company is an association of persons registered under Companies Act for carrying on some business. It is called an artificial person. It is called an artificial person. A company is called an artificial person because it is created by law. Second thing, it have a distinctive name. Reliance, Apple, Microsoft. What are these? These are the companies. They have their different name. We do not know them by the name of their owner. Okay, they have their separate legal entity. They have their separate legal entity. We can sue Microsoft, Apple, Reliance in court by the name of their company, by the name of the company itself. And these companies can also sue the person. These companies can also sue a person. You can buy property under the name of these companies like Microsoft, Apple, Reliance, and many such companies. So this company have a common seal and perpetual succession of members. It can sue and can be sued in its own name. The most widely quoted definition of a company is called corporation in USA is the one given by Chief Justice Marshall. According to him, A corporation is an artificial being, invisible, intangible, and existing only in the contemplation of law. Being the mere creature of law, it is possesses only those properties which are charter of its creation confers upon it, and either expressly or an incidental to its very existence. Basically, it is an artificial human being. It is an artificial human being. And we have a common seal in companies. A common seal in companies, which will be held by the board of directors. Okay, because company itself can't sign the documents. Company itself can't sign the documents because it's not a real person. It's an artificial person. So we have a common seal, and this seal will be held by board of directors, and they take decisions on behalf of the company. But company is separate from their owners. Now, the Indian Companies Act 1956, the Indian Companies Act 1956 defines joint stock company as a company limited by shares having a permanent paid up or nominal share capital of fixed amount dividend into shares, also fixed amount held and transferable as stock, and formed on the principle of having in its member only the holders of those shares or stocks and no other person. Then that is known as a company. Coming to the features of the company, incorporation. Incorporation means it will only come into existence if you have registered it under the Companies Act. To start a company, it is mandatory to follow the legal procedures. You have to get it under registration under the Companies Act. You have to get it registered under the Companies Act. So it is incorporation. Artificial person, artificial person, like as I said, I can buy a company, or we can buy the property under the name of a company. We can sell property under the name of a company. Separate legal entity. A company has a distinct entity separate from its member. A shareholders of a company can enter into contract with the company and can sue the company and be sued by it. You know that in the case of partnership, and every partner is the agent of the firm and also that of the other partners. But the shareholder is not the agent of the company or its shareholders. He cannot bind them with his act. It means, as you have seen in partnership, if a partner is enrolled in any illegal activity under the business activity, then every partner have to face the consequences of that activity. But if a shareholder, suppose a shareholder of Apple company, uh, shareholder of a Apple company commit a murder, okay, commit a crime or murder a person, then that company is not liable for his act. The company, Apple, is not liable for that person's act. That is what it means. Okay, common seal. As the company is not a natural person, it is not. It cannot sign the documents. It has a device in the form of common seal. I guess we have discussed it. Perpetual succession. If shareholders of the company dies, okay, become insolvent or become insane, get retirement, then or it doesn't affect the company at all. The company will move further without any interruption. A joint stock company has continuous existence. Its life is not affected by the death, lunacy, insolvency, or the retirement of its shareholders or directors. Separation of ownership and management. Here, the management and ownership is separated. The shareholders of a company are widely scattered throughout the country. For the conduct of business and its management, shareholders elect another set of person known as directors. The right to manage the company affair is vested in the directors, who are the elected representative of the shareholders. See, shareholders are the owners of the company, and directors are the manager of the company. That is, the ownership and management is separate in company. Number of members. We have two types of company now. First one is public company, and second one is private company. We can start a public company or we can start a private company. First, if we talk about a public company, then the minimum members in a public company is required 7. Minimum is 7, and there is no maximum limit in a public company. In public company, normal public can purchase or invest in a company. Okay, normal public like you and me can buy the share of Reliance and all. So that is known as a public company. The minimum members to start a public company is 7, and the maximum have no limit. But in case of private limited company, minimum number is 2. The minimum members are required 2, and the maximum is 200. Maximum is 200. Write this thing down, okay? This is important. Limited liability. In company, the owners have or the shareholders have limited liability, limited risk. If I have bought a share of 100 bucks, if I have bought a share of 100 bucks, then my liability is limited. Okay, I can face a loss of 100 bucks only. I can face a loss of 100 bucks only. And if my company or a company I have invested in um, goes under the laws, okay, goes under the laws, faces the laws, then it is the company will not come to me. The company or the person company is liable to pay will not come to me asking for the money. So my liability is limited. My liability is limited. Transferability of shares. I can purchase share today and sell it tomorrow. I have full right to buy and sell the share of a company. Rigidity of objects. The scope of business of a company is limited. The type of business in which company would participate in is mentioned in the object clause of its MOA, which is Memorandum of Association. The, then the company cannot take up any new business without changing the object clause. Without changing the object clause. Statutory regulation. A company is governed by Companies Act, and it has to follow various provisions of Act. It has to submit a number of returns to the government. Accounts of a company must be audited by a chartered accountant. So is company clear? I guess
Clear,
yes.
ma. It's
Moving further,
clear.
okay. Moving further to the classification of companies, we have classified companies on four bases. Okay, first one is mode of incorporation. The first one is statutory company. Statutory company, basically the companies owned by the government. Okay, the company is owned by the government, comes under the government, are known as statutory company. A company established by a special act. A company established by a special act of parliament or state legislature is called statutory company, such as LIC in India, okay, Reserve Bank of India, FCI, Food Corporation of India. These are such examples, some examples of statutory company. Coming toward the registered company, a company which is incorporated through registration with the registrar of companies under Companies Act 1956 is called registered company. This is also called incorporated company. All the companies established under private sector, okay, private company, belongs to this category. Chartered company, a company which is incorporated under a special royal charter granted by the monarch is called chartered company, like British East India Company, Bank of England, Hudson's Bay Company. These all are the companies which was chartered by the monarch or get guaranteed or started under a special act. And we do not see these kind of companies these days in India because there is no monarchy exist in India. Unlimited companies based on the type of liability. We have categorized companies in three categories. Unlimited companies. A company which the liability of the member is unlimited is called unlimited company. At the time of winding up of company, shareholder have to pay if necessary from their personal assets to clear the company debts. From this point of view, it is very much like sole proprietorship partnership. However, such companies are very rare, or we do not see such companies. It's just a category. Okay. Company is limited by guarantee. Company is limited by guarantee. In case of some companies, members give guarantee for the debts of the company up to a certain limit in addition to the amount of shares held by them. The additional amount guaranteed by the member is generally laid down in memorandum of association. Such companies are not formed for the purpose of profits. They are formed to promote art, culture, religion, trade, sports, etc. Okay. Companies limited by share. The liability of the members is limited to the amount of the share held by them. The normal company we see these days comes under this category. On the basis of ownership, private limited company and public limited company. in private limited company in private limited company, we have restriction the right to transfer its share. Okay, in private limited company you cannot transfer your shares to another person, to another person. And the minimum requirement or minimum members required are 2 and maximum are 200 in private limited company. But if we talk about public limited company, the rights of shareholders to transfer his share in is not restricted. Means you can transfer your shares at any time, and the minimum numbers of shareholders is 7, but there is no maximum limit on the members of company. Government company, a company in which a company in which not less than 51% of the paid up share capital is held by the central government. If any person have 51% share of the shares, then that person become the owner of the company. Okay, so this is the case of government company. When a government have 51% of paid up share capital held in a company, then that is known as a government company, and it can be held by state government, central government, or jointly by central or state government. On the basis of jurisdiction, national company, multinational company, as the name says, when a companies are confined within the boundaries of a company, the operation of a company are confined within the boundaries of a country, it is known as national company. And when the operation of a companies are extended beyond the territories of the company and in which it is registered, such a company is called multinational company, MNCs. Merits and demerits. Merits of a company: large capital, as the public is the owner of the company. Public is the owner of the company. One person can't invest too much in a company, but one person can't have enough funds to start a company, but If we have 1,000% which would like to invest in our company, then we can have a large capital, a large sum of amount. Limited liability. The shareholders are limited. The shareholders have limited liability. Okay, it is limited to the face value of shares held by them. Stability of existence. A company will continue. A company has a separate legal entity with perpetual succession. The corporation is not affected by the lunacy or insolvency of a shareholder or director. Economies of scale. As companies operate on a large scale, they can take advantage of large scale buying, selling, and production. As a result of these economic of large scale operation, companies can provide goods to consumer at a cheaper price. Scope of expansion. As there is no limit to the maximum number of shareholders in public limited company, expansion of business is easy by issuing new shares and debentures. You know the difference between shares and debentures? Do you guys know the difference between shares
No,
and debentures?
no,
Okay,
ma. Kindly explain.
let me tell you. A company issues two types of things, okay, like shares or debentures mainly. When a company requires capital, then company have two options. They can either issue shares or they can issue debentures. You can simply see as loan. Okay, if I am taking, being a company owner, I am taking loan from a bank or some institution, then it will be considered as a loan from bank, loan from institution, okay, financial institution. But if I am taking a loan from public, if bank denies me, okay, bank denies me to give me a loan of 500 crore rupees, then what I will do, I will issue debentures. It is a kind of loan which we will get from public. Okay, we will have to pay interest on the debentures. We do not pay dividend, we pay interest on the debentures. It's a kind of loan which we take from public. Buy debentures of a company and give us money to operate our business activities or company's activity. But shareholders, so no, first one is debenture. In debentures, the person who is buying debentures, the person who is investing using debentures, have no rights in our company's management, have no right in our company's management. No ownership is given to the debenture holder. But coming to the shareholder, as shareholders, we are giving some authority or ownership to the public. We are giving authority and ownership of our company to the public. This is shares or issuing of shares. When a person buy a share of a company, then we have to provide dividend. We have to provide dividend, and dividend is the part of profit. Dividend is the part of profit. uh, Suppose we have earned a profit of 200 crores. So, after keeping 100 crore profit to the business and giving the remaining 100 crore profit to the shareholders, we will distribute that 100 crore of profit to the shareholders in the form of dividend. But in debentures we provide interest to the debentures holder. And one more thing, if there is no profit in the business, then we do not have to pay the dividend to the shareholders. But it doesn't matter we are doing profit or going through loss, we have to pay interest to the debentures. We have to pay interest to the debentures. Is the difference clear?
Yes, ma, but I have a question. So what
Okay.
happens if you have failed to pay the money to the public, because you say the benches it's the money we get from the public. So what happens if you fail to pay that money back?
It's like that. We have a rule in a company. If we are dissolving a company, then first we use if we are dissolving a company, then we will revaluized the asset value. Okay, revaluized the asset value. First we will pay the amount to first we will pay the amount to our loan holders. After that we will pay the amount to debentures holder. After that we will pay the amount to debentures holder. If we have some remaining amount, then we will think about the shareholders. Otherwise, we first we have to pay the debts, or we have to pay the outside liabilities. Debentures are the outsider liabilities. This rule a company have to follow. First we repay the debt of outsiders, then we repay the debt of our own capital or the owners. Is this clear?
Yes, it's clear, ma'am.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Um, can we say debenture is the loan that the company is owing?
As yes, I just said this. It is a form of loan. The basic difference is that we are not taking loan from a particular company, bank, or financial institution, but we are taking this loan normal public, from normal public by issuing debentures. Okay, it's a kind of loan only. That's why we are paying or repaying in the form of interest to debentures holder. They are not given any kind of management or ownership of the companies. That's the difference between shares and debentures. Now, coming to the point, public confidence. Companies are subject to the government controls and regulation. Their accounts are audited by a chartered accountant and are to be published. Transferability of shares. One person can transfer the shares in public company. Professional management. You know that the management of a company is in the hand of directors who are elected by shareholders. These rights, like electing the directors and all, is not given to the debentures holder. These rights are only given to the shareholders. We have different types of shareholders too. Okay, we have some categories in shareholders too, but here it is not mentioned, and we will discuss this type in next units. Okay, coming to the tax benefits. Companies pay income tax at flat rates. There is no provision for slab system in the taxation of the companies. Limitations of a company. Difficulty in formation. It is difficult to form a company. Okay, to gather together huge numbers or huge population to start a business. As in starting, no one would like to invest in a company. No one would like to invest in a company. I can easily buy a share of a running company, but if we are starting a company, then who will confide in us? Okay, who will confide in us? So it is difficult to start a company. Lack of secrecy. The management of the company is usually in the hands of many person, so we have to face lack of secrecy. Delay in decision making, as we have so many owners or board of directors, so there is a delay in decision making of a company. Neglect of minority interest. The representation of the majority group of shareholders become the member of its board of directors. Suppose 500 shareholders have elected person A. Okay, we have A and B. We have A and B who is the candidate for the board of directors. 500 person are elected have elected person A, and 1500 shareholders have elected person B. So the person B clearly wins the seat of board of director. So the representative of majority group of shareholders become the member in board of directors, and we neglect the interest of minority. Like these 500 shareholders interest get neglected here. Concentration of economic power, lack of personal interest. In sole proprietorship and partnership firms, business is managed by owner themselves. In the company form organization, day-to-day management is vested with the salaries and executives who do not have any personal interest in the company, because it's a public money and public is the owner, but not every person can be seated in the ownership or on the owner chair. So we have lack of personal interest. More government restriction. A company is subject to many restrictions from which the proprietorship and the partnership are exempted. It has to spend considerable time and effort in complying with the various legal requirements. Coming to the point, one person company. As the name state, one person company. When only one person starts a company, then that is known as one person company. Section 2 of 62 of Companies Act 2013 defines one person company to mean a company with only one person as its member, only one shareholder, okay, and 100% ownership of this one shareholder is known as one person company. Section 31C provides that a company may be formed for any lawful purpose by one person, where the company to be formed is to be one person company, that is to say a private company, by subscribing his name to a memorandum. Now you will think about that. If we have to own or start one person company, then why don't we call it sole proprietorship? Why don't we call it sole proprietorship? Because in sole proprietorship as well, we have only one owner, and in one person companies also we have only one owner. But the difference is that in sole proprietorship there is no separate legal entity, but in one person company we have separate legal entity. Means owner is different and company is different. Owner is different and company is different, and owner have limited by share. Owner is limited by share. Owner doesn't have unlimited liability in one person company. Owner have limited liability in one person company. Is this clear? How is it different from sole proprietorship? And also owner can or the company can buy some property under the name of OPC, one person company. We have some rule framed by the central government to start a one person company. Only a natural person who is Indian citizen and resident in India shall be eligible to incorporate a one person company or be appointed as a nominee for the sole members. Okay, for one person company, for OPC, a person is required and it is mandatory to uh, appoint a nominee. It is mandatory to appoint a nominee of one person company. It is mandatory to appoint a nominee of one person company, so that after the death of that owner or one person company, this business can run without any interruption. Only a natural person who is Indian citizen and the resident in India shall be eligible to incorporate a one person company. No person shall be eligible to incorporate more than one person company. If you have started a company which is under the OPC, if you have already started a company OPC or become a nominee then you cannot start another such company. One person can only start one OPC. One person can be the owner of only one OPC. No minor shall become member or nominee of the one person company or can hold share with the beneficial interest. So these were some rules. Coming to the small company. The concept of small company has also been introduced for the first time in the Companies Act 2013. According to Section 285 subsection of Companies Act 2013, small company means a company other than public company. A company other than public company is considered as small company. The paid up share capital of which doesn't exceeds 50 lakh rupees or such high amount may be prescribed, which shall not be more than 5 crore rupees, is considered as small company. Turnover of which as per its last profit and loss account doesn't exceeds 2 crore rupees is considered as small company. So these were the forms of organization. Now coming to the cooperative form of organization. Cooperative form of organization. Cooperative organizations are generally started by the poor and the economically weak section to promote their common economic interest through business propositions. The basic philosophy of cooperative organization is self-help and mutual help. Self-help and mutual help. The primary objective of any cooperative organization is to render service to its member. Its primary objective is not to earn the profit, but to render the service to its member. Some example of cooperative societies are or cooperative form of organization is Amul in India and IFCO like Indian Farmer Fertilizer Corporation. These are the organizations working under cooperative form. Okay. Cooperative organization is an association of persons, usually of limited means, who have voluntarily joined together to achieve a common economic and through the formation of a democratically controlled business organization, making equitable contribution to the capital required and accepting a fair share of risk and benefits of the undertaking. When so in Amul, suppose if we have three, five, or 10 business shops, okay, which produces milk and face difficulty to sell it, but if they come together, then it will be get noticed. Then it will get noticed, and they can work smoothly. They can work smoothly and form a cooperation out of it. That is what a cooperative organization works for. We can state that the cooperative organization is a voluntary association of persons who are not financially strong and cannot stand on their own legs. They come together not with a view to get profit but to overcome the disstability arising out of the want of adequate financial resources. The basic objective of such an organization is self help and mutual help. Self help and mutual help. Main features of cooperative organization: voluntary, association, autonomy, stability, democratic management. The management of cooperative organization vests in managing committee elected by members on the basis of one member, one vote. Okay. Capital. The capital is procured from its member in the form of share capital. Government control in India, all cooperative societies are registered under Cooperative Societies Act 1919 or other state Cooperative Societies Act. Cooperative societies are subjected to detailed regulation under these acts. Service motive, because it doesn't cater a profit motive. Limited return on capital. In cooperative system, profits are distributed among the shareholders for the capital they have contributed. But the rate of dividend paid to the shareholders is limited to 9% as per the Cooperative Societies Act. Classification of cooperatives. We can start consumer cooperatives, people who want to obtain their day-to-day household goods at reasonable price from consumer cooperative society. The main objective of these societies is to protect the member from evils of a fair trade and step rise in the prices. Producers cooperatives, these are the societies formed by the small industrial producers and artisans. They are also called industrial cooperatives. The main objective is to protect the small producers and workers from exploitation. Marketing cooperatives. When the producers form into cooperative society for the purpose of arranging the sale of their output. It is called marketing cooperatives. These societies are started in order to protect the producers from exploitation by the middlemen when they market their products. Housing cooperatives, they are mainly formed to provide housing facilities. First, they acquire society lands, then plan the layout and construct house, and later allot them to the members of the society. Credit cooperatives. Credit society are started by the person who need for credit. Such societies provide credit to the members at a reasonable rate of interest. So the person do not have to go to the bank. Okay, it's just they give or take credit only from the members of the society. Farming cooperatives. Economies of large scale cooperation cannot be derived by small farmers. Therefore, small farmers form into a cooperative society, carry on the work jointly, and share the returns. These societies are most helpful to small and marginal farmer and enable them to get to the advantages of large scale operations. Merits and limitation. Merits is easy formation, have limited liability, social service, state assistance, open membership. Anyone can join the cooperative society. Limitations, lack of business acumen. Like these are the normal person, okay? They do not know how to do a business. So they have lack of business acumen, absence of mutual interest, lack of coordination, corruption, lack of secrecy because there are so many members in cooperative societies. So these are the forms of business organization, different types of business organization. Now, coming to the unit 6, forms of business organization 2. In this unit, we will think that how to start a business, or what point a owner or a person who wants to start a business have to keep in the mind before starting a business, before commencing a business. So, requisites of an ideal form of business organization: ease of formation. Ease of formation. An important factor for preferring a particular form of organization to another is the ease with which a business can be brought into existence. The business can be brought into existence. The cooperative ease of difficulty in forming a particular form of organization mainly depends on three factors. Mainly depends on three factors. Wait a minute. Now, coming to the point, where were we? Scope of raising capital. The choice of organization mainly depends on the amount of capital required, which is determined by the nature of business and the scale of operation. For example, if you want to open a retail shop in groceries, the amount of capital needed will not be much. But if you want to set up a sugar factory, a manufacturing factory, you may require a large number of capital. Extent of liability. You know that the element of risk and uncertainty is prevalent in each business. Business is equal to risk. Risk is business and business is risk. In view of this, normally the businessman prefers limited liability. Normally the businessman prefers limited liability. And if you want to start a business with limited liability, then you can go with companies or LLPs, limited liability partnership, or OPC. Flexibility of operation. The form of organization should be very flexible and adaptable to change business condition without much difficulty or complication. If you want this flexibility of operation, then you can start your own business like sole proprietorship. That is more flexible. Stability and continuity. If you want your business to continue, if you want your business to continue for lifetime period, then you can start or invest in a company. Then you can start a company. Effectiveness of management. As you know that the success of any business enterprise depends on the efficiency of management. Managerial efficiency depends on skills, motivation, flexibility, adaptability, etc. It is difficult for an individual to possess all these qualities. It is difficult for an individual to possess all these qualities. So if you want effective management, then you can use partnership or company. Partnership or company. Extent of government control and regulation. If you want limited extent of government control and regulation, then you can start sole proprietorship. Then you can start sole proprietorship. But if you are starting a company, then the government control and regulations will be high. Okay. Business secrecy. If you want high business secrecy, then you go with sole proprietorship. And the in partnership we have secrecy a little. But if you're going with a company, then there is no business secrecy. Tax burden. Business taxes, GST excise duty, and custom duty are changed on certain products and services. Hence, such taxes affects all form of alike, and they will not affect the choice but the income tax liability in different from one organization to the another. Ownership prerogative. Some person have a very strong desire to control the entire business activities, and if you have this strong desire, then you can start the sole proprietorship. Some person are desirous of sharing the responsibility and risk of business. In this case, you can start partnership business. Some people may want to own a part of capital without a strong desire to control the affairs of business, and in this case you can start a company. Now, comparison of various form of organization. We have this table like sole proprietorship, partnership, private limited company, public limited company, corporation organization. But before doing this, we will move further. As we have discussed all the merits, demerits, and feature of each of the form of organization, each of the form of organization, then we can compare these things easily. And before doing this, we will move further. Before doing this, we will do the criteria for the choice of an organization. The decision regarding the choice of an organization assumes importance at two stages of business. First, at the time of starting a business, and second, at the time of expansion of the business. So, what criteria you see at the time of starting a business? First one is nature of business. Choice of a suitable form of organization is dependent on the nature of the proposed business. A big cement manufacturing activity and a retail cement shop cannot have the same form of organization. If you want to set up a big manufacturing activity, cement manufacturing activity, or a factory, you want to set up a factory, then you can go with partnership. And if you want to set up a retail cement shop, then you can go with sole proprietorship. Okay, this is depend on the nature of business. Volume of business. The expected volume of business also influences the decision about the suitable form of organization. If the volume of business is small, you need small amount of capital and run less risk. In the case, sole proprietorship may be quite suitable. But if the volume is large, if you want to set up a big business, you need more capital and you have to run on more risk, which is a single owner may find it difficult to cope with up. So the partnership form of or a company form would be considered more suitable in this case. Area of operation. Area of operation of business also influences the choice or form of organization. If the area is limited and confined to a particular locality, and the suitable form of organization may be sole proprietorship. In case the area is widespread, the suitable form of the business may be joint stock company. Desire for control. If you want if you want to control or want to have the direct control over your business, then you can choose sole proprietorship and partnership. But if you do not want to control or do not want a direct control over your business, then you can invest in a company or start a company. Capital requirement. The form of businesses deeply depends on the capital requirement or capital you have for the business commencement. A business which requires a small amount of capital can be organized on sole proprietorship or partnership. But if the financial requirement of a business are huge, then the joint stock company form of organization may be preferred. Extent of risk and liability. If the promoters of the business enterprises are deterred by the risk of involved, they will start the business on the basis of limited liability. That means they can go for a company. In the case they have capacity to bear the risk involved, it can be organized on sole proprietorship or partnership basis because it have unlimited liability. Government regulation. If you want no government regulations or control over your company, then you can go with sole proprietorship. And if you are choosing a company, then the regulations, rules and regulation, or the laws will be implied to a company more as compared to sole proprietorship or partnership. Now the criteria at the time of expansion. Criteria at the time of expansion. Need for larger financial resources, need for internal reorganization and control, need for specialized service like communication, accounting, and marketing. Suppose you are running a sole proprietorship business, okay, but now you want to expand, and for expansion you need larger financial resources. You cannot expand your business by your own. Then you can add a partner to it. Okay, you can add a partner to your business, and from there you can convert your sole proprietorship into a partnership firm. That is at the time of expansion. Increase in government control and regulation, increase in tax liability, increase in the problem of control and coordination. These all the stuffs you have to cater before expanding your business, and choose the form of organization accordingly. Choice of form of organization. See, for business like grocery stores, hairdressers, small restaurants, hotels, small auto workshops, stationery shops, confectionaries, bakeries, dry cleaners, shoe manufacturers, suppliers, small electric and electronic repair shoes, barbers, tailors. If you are have these small business, then you can go with sole trade organization or sole proprietorship easily. Okay. Business on relatively large scale is generally organized as a partnership firm service enterprises like auto workshop. If you want to start an auto workshop, larger restaurants and hotels, large scale retail house, and medium scale industrial organization. If you want to open a retail shop, okay, in a mall, then it become a large shop, okay, large retail house or retail shop. Then in these cases, you can you can start business with partnership in those enterprises where the risk involved is quite significant and scale operation. Likely choice will be private company, transport undertakings, hire purchase units, finance and leasing companies. Medium scale manufacturing companies are generally organized as private limited company. For a large scale business operation, the most suitable form of business organization is public limited company. The large scale manufacturing plants, large transport undertakings, engineering and electronic companies, departmental stores, multiple shops. So, if you want to start these things, then you can go with public limited company. Coming to the social enterprises, the social enterprises have been established for development of the society. The enterprises have been involved in dealing with the issue of education, training, unemployed, women empowerment, poverty, inequity, and etc. As the name say, social, it works for society. It works for the upliftment or the development of the society. It is clear from the policy that social enterprises have emerged as an important business instrument. These enterprises have been involved in addressing the issue related to poverty, unemployment, and equity. They are committed to the social oriented business innovation. The social innovations may be used to explore answer to the social problems and so on. This is social enterprises. Now, we will go back to the comparison of forms of business. Here it is. Comparative study of different form of organization. I guess all the forms of organization is clear to you guys. Now, if it is not clear, then you can focus on this table just like that. The basis of comparison is this, like formation. In sole proprietorship, it is easy to form because there is no legal formalities is required. You don't need to go to the court for file legal documents to open a dairy shop, okay, in your locality. So it is easiest for information. Partnership, it is quite easy, no rigid legal formality. If you want to register your partnership firm, then you can register it. If you do not want to register it, then it is not mandatory. In private limited company, it is difficult due to the legal formalities. In public limited company, it is quite difficult due to the many legal formalities you have to register, because when public is involved in any business, the restrictions get difficult. Okay, the legal formalities get difficult. Few legal formalities are involved in cooperative organization. Specific regulation, none. Sole proprietorships have no runs on no act. Okay, partnership runs on the Act of Indian Partnership Act 1932 in India, and private limited company and public limited companies run on the Companies Act 1956 and Companies Act 1956 or Companies Act 2030. Cooperative organization runs under the Companies Societies Act 1912. Legal status. Sole proprietorship, no separate legal status because business is owner and owner is business here. In partnership as well, no separate legal status. But in company, in both private and public company, we have separate legal status because company is different from the owner of the company. So they have separate legal entity. In cooperative organization as well, they have separate legal entity. Membership, single ownership in sole proprietorship, partnership minimum to maximum 50. Okay, in private limited company we have minimum 2 members and maximum 200, and in public limited company we have 7 members as minimum, and we do not have any maximum limit. In cooperative organization we have minimum 10 members and no maximum limit. We can start a cooperative firm of organization with 10 members only. This chart is really important if you do not want to study the above or unit 5, then you can just see this chart and can easily understand what are the features of sole proprietorship, partnership, or different forms of organization. And with these features you can easily differentiate the merits and demerits of each form of organization. Capital, very limited capital is required to start a sole proprietorship business. Limited capital is required for partnership. Larger capital resources required for private limited company. Any amount of capital can be raised in public limited company. No substantial resources. No substantial resources. Like there's no such capital required for corporation organization, because in cooperative societies the members shares their capital. Management and ownership. Owner is manager. Okay, owner management. Here the owner management is in sole proprietorship. In partnership as well we have owner management. In private limited company, control, risk and ownership generally go together. In public limited company, complete separation of management and ownership, because shareholders are the owner of the firm and directors are the managers of the firm. Cooperative organization, not managed by all members. Not managed by all members. Managerial expertise. It is very limited expertise, scope for expertise, and very wide scope for expertise. If you want to be a director, then you have to expertise or expert in management. Okay, here in cooperative organization we have scope for expertise. Owner's liability. In sole proprietorship we have unlimited liability. In sole proprietorship we have unlimited liability. In partnership as well we have unlimited liability. But in company, both public or private, we have limited liability, and in cooperative organization as well we have limited liability. Basis of profit sharing, fully enjoyed by owner. Here the profit is fully enjoyed by owner. In partnership, the profit is shared by the partners as per the agreement or partnership deed. In private limited company and public limited company, the profit is shared by the owners in proportion of shares held. In proportion of share held. In cooperative organization, volume of business by each member. Volume of business by each member. Because in cooperative organization different businesses come together. Okay, different businesses come together. Now in the sharing of profit, we have to look the volume of business by each member. Ownership transfer at will and will relatively easy. Ownership transfer, if I want to sell my business today I can sell it. Okay, it is on at will. In partnership it is restricted and relatively difficult, because all the partners to have to decide whether to transfer the transfer the share or transfer the interest to the third person or not. Okay, it is a mutual consent. In private limited and public limited, sorry, in private limited it is also restricted, because in private limited company one cannot transfer its shares. But in public limited it is at will, and it can be and it can be transferred very easily. I can transfer my share or I can sell my share at any time. Restricted in cooperative organization. So these are all the basis of comparison. These are the same points we have discussed earlier. Now this unit is also completed. I guess it's enough for today. Is this clear? Is the form of business organization is clear to you guys?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. Now please turn on your camera. Please turn on your camera so I can take attendance. Please turn on your camera all at a one time. Okay, it's done. If you have any doubt, you can ask now. If you have doubt, you can write it down in chat box, or else I am concluding the class. Okay, I guess you guys have no doubts. Now I am concluding the class. Okay, bye.
Okay, ma'am. Bye. Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye, bye.
Bye, ma. Thank you.
Just keep reading these books, okay? Keep reading this. Otherwise, you will get confused in the forms of organization.
Okay.
Okay? Bye.
Okay, thank you. Goodbye. See you next class, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Hello, Benjamin. So you are coming from farm?
Come on.
Oh boy. So what are you planting for us?
Maize.
I thought you plant yam now.
Like the animal actually food. That's something I'm food.
No, Allah.
Jamba duka.
So you are in a market like.